I arrived at Carleton in 1967. I returned from graduate school in the United States. I will frankly admit, I was quite determined to come to Carleton University when I took an appointment. Always trained in, both my graduate programs were in schools that had joint departments. I was very happy with that. I always thought that was important, sociology and social anthropology. I believed this was the university in which sociology would develop, and in no small part because of the wonderful reputation of John Porter. When I was appointed, the chairman was Bruce McFarlane. At least through the 70s, 80s, the Department of Sociology and Anthropology was the dominant department of sociology in the country, and in many ways became, I think, one of the more influential departments on campus.
I know as a graduate student, a master's student in Canada at the University of Waterloo throughout the 70s, so much of the literature I was reading had been produced by faculty at the sociology department at Carleton at the time. I was also attracted by the fact that it was a unionized shop. I had been part of a national union in the UK, and to carry on working as an employee in those conditions was very attractive to me.
My time as a graduate student here was fabulous. It was a vibrant department. It was an exciting place to work. Obviously, I had the support of John Porter and a number of other faculty members. But throughout the department, there were outstanding teachers of people like Frank Valley, Don White, Bruce McFarlane, were all really dynamic characters who really gave a gravitas to this department. The program attracted high-level, high-quality graduate students, and it was an experience that shaped my life and shaped my academic career.
I joined the department in 1983. It's incredible to me that I have spent 36 years as a full-time faculty in this department. When I arrived at Carleton, of course, there weren't a lot of women in the department, and I believe there was only one full professor who was female. One transformation in our department is that it has become more feminized. And I think it's the case now that we actually have more full professors who are female than male.
My objective was to not only maintain a sound undergraduate program, but to develop a graduate program so that as quickly as possible we could begin training our own faculty members. While I was chair, there had been a lot of work in the department to develop the proposal for a doctoral program and go through the procedures required for approval, and as I say, it very quickly, I think, translated into success.
One thing I'm particularly proud of as a faculty member is that the graduate students I have worked with and that my colleagues have worked with have gone on to very stellar academic careers themselves. I feel quite chuffed by the fact that we've populated many sociology and anthropology departments across the country.
What has sustained me, and I think it's really notable about this department over the arc of its development, is that its focus and accomplishments in social justice have in fact grown and expanded, and I think we are very known for that. We have an incredibly engaged sociology and anthropology faculty who are interested in dealing with a whole variety of issues, homelessness, non-citizenship, racism, the impact of settler colonialism on indigenous peoples, and so forth.
I think I could probably say I learned more in those first few years in this department as a junior faculty member than I did in graduate school. And it was that kind of environment. You had room to go and to be stimulated eventually from people from quite diverse backgrounds, all learning their way in this environment.
I was attracted, or an additional reason I was attracted to this department was because it was a sociology anthropology department. I didn't know very much anthropology, and when I arrived, and I hope that I have learned more, but it also speaks to the tremendous interdisciplinarity and cross-disciplinarity of this department. And this has given us tremendous freedom in terms of the types of theoretical approaches and also empirical work that we've done.
Consciously or unconsciously, one of the things we did as a collective was undertake succession planning. And we were very successful at bringing into the department a fantastic cohort of younger faculty who are very well placed to carry on the traditions of the department in terms of research excellence and activist connections. I can't think of anyone in our department now who is not also active with community organizations of various sorts. And that's a very strong identity of our department, and one that also we are very proud of.
I'm an associate professor in anthropology here at Carleton University. I started working here in 2012, so about 7 years ago, which is pretty recent considering the history of the Department of Sociology and Anthropology. When I got hired in 2012, I had no prior relationship to Carleton. I hadn't been a student here, I didn't live in Ottawa or near Ottawa, and so I came with kind of no idea of what Carleton was about, and no idea of what the Department of Sociology and Anthropology was about either. And I was quite, I feel pretty lucky actually to be here. In terms of university culture, there's all sorts of different places, and the Department of Sociology and Anthropology has been, for me, a place where there's a lot of collegiality. Like, I really like my colleague. I found them to be both brilliant scholars, but also very down-to-earth and approachable. And I think that and people are also very caring about each other, caring about our students. And I think that's pretty special.
We have always had just an outstanding administrative staff, and I think this is reflected also in the fact that we have some people who have been here, well, in one case longer than I have been, and people like this department. They like working with the faculty members, and we love working with the administrative staff. We know how critical they are.
The year I was the chair, we had a review, and the outcome of that review was superb. We were deemed to be a national treasure as the leading PhD program in the country. So there was some satisfaction in that process, and gives some sense of the external recognition for the strength of our PhD program. The other indicator is the positions that our graduates have achieved throughout the country, which is phenomenal. We really are the main producer of high quality PhDs both in teaching and in research outside of academia.
As the new chair of the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, I'm delighted to be working with my colleagues and continuing this long tradition of success, both academically and in our teaching, but also research. We're one of the stronger departments of sociology and anthropology in the country. We have great graduates, both undergraduate and graduate students, and it's relatively unique in the country to have both sociology and anthropology in a single department. There are a few other universities around, but increasingly increasingly not as many as in the past. And by having both programs in the same department, we complement each other so well, and it's easy for our students, both undergraduate and graduate courses, to draw on our disciplinary expertise of both programs here. Our students have done amazing things both as students. Increasingly we have possibilities for them to do placements and to be community engaged. These type of experiential learning opportunities complements and works with the rigorous academic training they get in their courses. So they're able to recognize how sociology or anthropology speaks to the issues of the day in the wider community. Many of them go on for graduate school, many of them also go on into successful careers in government, non-governmental organizations or the private sector. We also have great research carried out by my colleagues in sociology and anthropology, which feeds back into the courses to enliven the syllabus with kind of ongoing research and debates based on the work they're doing. The department is looking forward to another exciting and productive 50 years. Increasingly, we are hiring new faculty, both on the sociology and anthropology side, which revitalizes our pedagogy, revitalizes our research, and revitalizes the department, which I think is clear as more and more students are entering into our programs. Where that leads us is open discussion as we work together in forging the pathway our department would take in the next 50 years.